Hello YouTube, Christopher Price here, owner at www.DurableSites.com. We specialize in WordPress e-commerce websites for small businesses. Come on over and get a website that's built to last and evolve with you and your business. When we come back, we're going to be talking about what you should know before creating your website. Stay tuned. Whether you decide to get your website designed by DurableSites.com, or if you want to go to another designer, or if you're a do-it-yourselfer and you want to build your website yourself, there's a couple of things that I suggest you know to make this process go as smooth as possible. Let's start out with the first thing that you should know before creating your website. You should know what domain name is going to work well for you and your business. What domain name would work well? Well, let's see. First, let's cover what a domain name even is. www.google.com is an example of a domain name, and one that we all know. The way that you come up with a good domain name is pretty simple. Something that will complement your business, complement your industry, and basically explain what you do. That's a good start. That's what I would recommend. The first step in getting the domain name created is brainstorming, coming up with a list of names that you think would work well, and then actually searching to see if that name is available. This is the internet we're talking about, and there's billions of websites on it, so a lot of the good domain names are not available. So don't get too attached to the ones that you put down on your paper. I'd recommend going to the place where I actually got my domain name from, which is HostGator.com, and just search, use their little search thing they have there to see which domain names are already taken and which are available. Once you find one that you're comfortable with, you want to register it. Register for a very low rate on HostGator.com, which is the company I'd recommend. This domain name is actually important because we need this to relate to your business, your website, your logo, and your social media, which we're going to talk about later. Good websites are able to maintain consistent branding, which we'll talk about later in this video. And this is just an important step to make sure everything on your website is as professional as possible. Now, the second thing that you're going to have to think about is your hosting. Of course, what kind of website are you going to have here? Are you going to just have one website, or are you going to have multiple websites? For just one, I'd recommend a basic hosting package. For more than one, I'd recommend doing what I call a business package. That's what they call it on my hosting, where you can have one set rate and have multiple domain names registered under it. Also, if you're going to be doing an e-commerce based website or an online business, then you are going to be required to have what's called an SSL certificate. I'd again recommend going with the business package because through my hosting, the SSL actually comes with the business package. And SSL is just required for you to sell things online. It makes the whole transaction process a bit more secure, so to speak. So that's basically it for the domain name. We'll actually be coming back to this a little later in this video. The second thing that you need to know before creating your website is why your website will exist. What is its purpose? Will this website be an extension of your already established business, or is this going to be an online business or a new startup for you? What purpose is it going to serve? Is this going to be a personal website, a business website, a blog, those kinds of things? And what role will the website play in your business? These things will affect the way that the website functions. The purpose of the website, your why for having a website, of course, will determine who your target market is. because you want to target the people who are interested in what your website has to offer. Once you know your why the website exists, and the purpose of the website, you will be able to find who your target market is. This is very important for your website because different target markets require different stimulation, so to speak. Like if you're selling children's toys or children's clothes, you want your website to be child friendly. You don't need it to be corporate looking. It doesn't need to be super, I don't want to say super professional, because you should always stay professional, but there's a difference between a corporate website and a children's website. So knowing your why leads to knowing your target market, which leads to knowing what is most appealing to that target market. And that's basically it. You also need to know, do you want an e-commerce capability for your website? We talked about this in choosing your domain name and your hosting. This is also important because that's going to affect the steps that you need to take to getting the website created. Also, this will affect the process of your website creation. The third thing you want to know before creating your website is a basic design idea. You want to know a few basic things. What websites do you like which are related to the industry that you're in right now? What do you like about them? Do you like the fonts? Do you like the logo? Do you like the colors of this business? Do you like the way, do you like the way that the designer implemented various aspects of the website, like the functionality, the way the menu operates, the way they've got that video right there, the way they've got that slider on the home page? Take note of these things and really think about and visualize your website being created in your mind. Also think about what you don't like about these websites. Find websites that you dislike. What don't you like about it? Cover the same things you would cover for the websites that you like. Do you want your website to have a professional feeling or a playful feeling? This goes back to target market. What's the purpose of the site? Do you need a logo? Is this already a website for an established business where you already have a logo and your branding should already be established? Or is this something completely new where you need to think of a new logo and the colors for that logo and how those colors need to be congruent with the website, which should be congruent with your target market? All of these things are things that you should be getting an idea of in your head before the designer comes in, or before you go about creating it yourself. You definitely want to know this if you're about to create the website yourself. Do you have photos you want to use? On websites, I've seen people have copyright issues, so you can either take photos, you can use Google Images, but just know some of them are copyrighted. You might get hit up if your website is a popular one. By that I mean some people might try to sue you if it's theirs, but there's stock photography companies you can look into, or do like me, take photos with your camera. Once you figure out your design ideas, we can talk about custom graphics. What are you going to need to make that website look professional? What are you going to need to put that logo onto that picture? Are you going to need to bring in a graphic designer? Or is this something that you can do yourself? Things that you should be thinking about in your head before getting the website constructed. And those custom graphics brings me to number 3, which is social media integration. As touched on in the first thing we were going over, step 1 about your domain name, social media outlets and your domain name should be congruent. If you're in the car industry, let's say your name is Todd, toddscars.com. Your Facebook page needs to be named Todd's Cars or something similar to that. We don't want Tommy's Motorcycles on Facebook as your business and your Todd's Cars. Your customers are going to be confused. Confusion, it's not good. People give up when they're confused. We want you to be professional and cohesive. We want the colors on the website to look the same on your Facebook, on your Twitter, whatever you're using to market yourself on social media. We want those colors congruent. We want the logo present on there. All of that should be congruent. You want consistent branding for maximum impact. You want to see if your domain name is available on social media. So I recommend using a website called Name.Check. I'm going to leave the link in the description. It's actually Name.CHK.com, and you just type in the desired name on social media and it'll show you if it's available on every social media platform. Whichever social media platforms you're using for marketing, of course you want your name to be available on there. And you want to implement the graphics from your website onto your social media too. So whatever branding you've got on your website, that logo, that header that you're using, the colors, the feel should be the same on your Facebook fan page or Twitter, whatever you're using to market on social media. Now that's basically it for now. And yeah, that's basically it. Thank you for tuning in, and check us out at DurableSites.com to get a website that's built to last. Thank you.